Hey guys, All in Crypto here, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another daily cryptocurrency market update. I am on the camera for once. I do apologize. I have been somewhat absent from making content. We've continued to push our daily cryptocurrency market updates because I believe it is important for you guys to have a regular channel to view like mine. That gives a good overview of everything taking place on a day-to-day basis with not just the crypto space, but markets externally. So next month, we really will be upping our YouTube content. So do expect that. If you're not already subscribed, you may want to do so. And before I dive into this daily cryptocurrency market update, guys, if you could do me a big favor and smash that like button and leave a comment, it really does help me out in regards to the YouTube algorithm. We are going to be starting to look at cleaning the comments section up once more because it is getting bloody ridiculous. So what are we going to be talking about today? Well, we have a very interesting video lined up for you because we know the cryptocurrency. You guys know my thesis, my thoughts on the markets. Ultimately, I am bullish. And we've been bullish since down here, really the 5th of January, after being bearish for most of 2022. And we've absolutely killed and played the market very well. And if you want to find out what I'm buying, where I'm buying, please do feel free to check out the Patreon below. But essentially, I have a bullish bias. And we saw a real harsh rejection from 30K. And now, Bitcoin and crypto is starting to see some signs of life. And this is weirdly on the back end of a stock market that got killed off yesterday. Remember, we expected resistance here for the S&P. You also had a very good day for the dollar. However, this has largely been eroded, and this is a 3-day candle that's looking like a hammer. Now, and I'm going to make an entirely separate video, just a quick word on the dollar, because I'm going to talk about why I believe the markets are doing quite well off the back end of First Republic falling nearly 50%. This is First Republic, and this is Silicon Valley Bank. And are the markets expecting a type of scenario like what we had with Silicon Valley Bank, which involves the Fed increasing their balance sheet and bailing the banks out? This is from Cameron Winklevoss. How many billions more will the Fed print to backstop First Republic? And this is why markets, I think this narrative has really fueled the markets. But before my brain goes all over the place and darts everywhere around, we have spoken about a potential scenario for the dollar, which sees this as a head and shoulders and this as a neckline. And it's very interesting because Bitcoin, they're almost mirrored. You've got have you seen those pictures where you've got the ocean line here, you've got the sea below, and then you've got the sky above? Well, the dollar's in the sky, and you've got Bitcoin that's doing this, basically. And they're both at this sort of point of resistance. 30K for Bitcoin, 101 for the dollar. Are we gonna see Bitcoin do that and the dollar do that? That's really what I'm hoping for. And actually, very interesting, Stan Druckenmiller takes aim at the dollar. Billionaire investor says last year's dollar rally was the biggest miss of his career. Billionaire investor Stan Druckenmiller is betting against the US dollar as his only high conviction trade in what he believes is the most uncertain environment of markets and the global economy in 45 years. Druckenmiller, who was also George Soros' right-hand man and helped break the Bank of England, is an assault on the pound in 1992, said he felt confident taking negative positions against the greenback because of his dim views of the US policymakers. So there's a lot going on right now. We spoke about BRICS, spoke about all of this. This could be a play for the dollar. We've looked at this head and shoulders. This gives you target right down, I think, 8.8 or something like that, which, of course, crypto would love. But there has to be a narrative that's attached to that. Now, everyone is still very bearish. Every time we get a pullback like the one we've seen, people wet the bed. And actually, and the Patreon members can attest to this, we've been buying all of these up pretty accurately. And are going to continue to do so. Ultimately, because I think Bitcoin's going to 40K plus this year. I've not got an outlandish prediction. I'm sorry, guys, like 300K or 200K, 100K even. But I think, our new all-time highs out of the realms of possibility. We've actually looked at the stock market potentially doing something like that. And gold is on the precipice of it. However, that's for another video. We've covered a lot of the macro stuff where we looked at the 2-year yields, etc., etc. But let's cover why the stock market was down, but crypto was doing so well yesterday. And also gold saw a little bit of a bid. So First Republic falls nearly 50% to a record low after reporting mass deposit drop. So it's a very interesting environment. With Silicon Valley Bank, and we entered the market before this, we saw this kind of macro shift, right? people were reevaluating lots of different things, mainly because of the response that the Fed did. You've essentially had no stimulus for all of 2022. For the first time, and markets, of course, correlation here. We cover all this so often, guys. I try and stay away from it. Markets down with liquidity. And this is one metric of liquidity, but a good one. Markets up with liquidity. Markets almost knew that Silicon Valley Bank was going to happen and the Fed were going to print. Charts are the insider trader that you can become good friends with. You've just got to learn how to do it, guys. Now, are we going to see, and markets during this time period did well. Certainly Bitcoin, the stock market, etc., etc. Are we going to see another round of what they say is or isn't stimulus? It is stimulus, in my opinion, whenever the Federal Reserve, the central bank, issues bonds, currency, whatever it may be, and gives it out, that is a form of QE, in my opinion. Okay? Money supply, however, still getting hit hard, which is for a totally different video. And I think the Fed are doing this to kind of maybe add a little bit of scarcity to the dollar and bolster it. But anyway, so the real question is, are we going to see, this is First Republic, and this is a 3-day chart. So First Republic's already had a bad couple of days. Let's put it on a log. Sorry, guys. Let's put it on a log. But yesterday it had another spiller, a real spiller. You know, the hashtag banking crisis kind of, died down a little bit and hovered. Are we seeing the same thing that we saw with Silicon Valley Bank? And thus, and they actually halted trading, I believe, yesterday. Are we going to see the Fed react and print money? And how did Bitcoin, we've got 2 Bitcoins here, react the last time that they did this? How did markets react the last time they did this? This is why they're getting a bid. This is why the stock market is still getting hammered. However, you can see in the futures market, it's not doing too badly. Double bottom that we took. My scribbles are all over the place. These scribbles are what maybe appear to just be scribbles. But look, you can see how accurately these scribbles play out. Maybe I need to do them a little bit more neater, and then maybe I'll get some credibility that I think I deserve as a chartist. Certainly when you put me up against the caliber of Twitter traders and investors. So dollar's at a very interesting point. I think there's only one way out for the dollar, and that's mass proliferation. And ultimately, it's kind of why you could almost say long everything against the dollar. You now need to be, it's not just the dollar and the system that's being undermined, it's the entire way of modern society right now. If you look at a lot of what's coming out in the news and stuff like that, we have reporters coming out and just saying that the news is outright propaganda. I was listening to something on the Nord Stream, which of course was the pipeline, Russia's pipeline, and who blew that up or who didn't. Very interesting. Russia blew their own pipeline up, apparently. However, look into all that, guys. There's a mass awakening, I think, taking place that's far more broad than just financial. However, financial is one of the tools that have kept individuals where they are for so long. I hate going off on these tangents, but it's a subject that I'm very passionate about because it affects all of our lives and is definitely affecting yours on the other end of the screen. Unless you're in a position where you're a multimillionaire, and even then it still affects you, you're just less of a slave than potentially the rest of us. However, back to the topic at hand. I think the dollar could be weak. Very interesting that Stan Druckenmiller's saying this. This was something interesting. Talking about the propaganda, I don't know if anybody saw this clip from Tucker Carlson. Now, I am not familiar with Tucker Carlson. I'm sure he's a very aggravative figure to many, and he's probably said a lot of things that have upset people. However, what he reports on the media here, I think, is very interesting and basically just says that news isn't there really to report news. It's there to basically be propaganda. Little side note, because it's relevant, guys. We all live in the world. So the real question is now is what happens with First Republic Bank? Are they the only ones? We still have lots of earnings. I think we saw Amazon beat, did we? Or Apple. Could have even been Microsoft. I think it was Microsoft beat, and they're saying that's due to AI. So you got a mixed bag in the stock market. Stock market looks set to do quite well today. I think you're going to have a good day for the cryptocurrency market. And we are spot long and have been spot long since the start of the year. And I'm not being funny. Every single pullback that we've had thus far, you see the comments. Oh, you're wrong. Ha ha ha. We'll see. And be careful of showing your lack of understanding of anything in the comment section with very ignorant comments, like, you know, some of what I've seen in regards to maybe the bear side of things. You know, people don't quite understand, and it's almost like PTSD that we've all gone through over 2022. You're just so used to the price going down, you can't quite envision a world where it goes up. You're so used to crap conditions that you get comfortable in them. And I actually think that this was a huge turning point. We took a punt at the start of the year before this head and shoulders even confirmed. Then we had the head and shoulders confirmed. Inverse, that gives us upside target of first 35k, and if you're doing it on log, 40k plus. And now we actually think there's a macro backdrop that supports it with the 2-year yields, so on and so forth. What you get on this channel is critical thinking, and you get real technical analysis. Not anybody can draw symmetrical triangles and grind lines and stuff like that. That's been thought of and has a backstory too. You know, we're very much painters in regards to the picture that we're trying to portray, and that's what we're trying to portray. So I think the market has done well off First Republic Bank. If we look at what the Fed did on the last bank, Silicon Valley Bank, I think First Republic is it 18th, 14th or 18th in terms of largest bank in the US, so it's major. 200 billion in terms of assets. Silicon Valley Bank was 288, I think. So the real question is, and what markets maybe are thinking is this going to lead to more adding to the balance sheet, which I've got rid of, and proliferation of the dollar? And do we just sort of, are we doing QE in a time? It's very contradictory what's happening right now, and very, very interesting. The 2-year yields for us is the leader. You know, we ultimately think and go and look at what happens to the markets. People that say they're bearish don't talk about this stuff. They don't understand this kind of stuff. And there are a lot of bearish reasons to be bearish out there. Let me just say that. You've got money supply lowest in like 90 years or something, or 80 years. You've got metrics that show record lows in certain areas. But actually, if you look at 2008, look at the Big Short, right? Everyone was calling Michael Burry an idiot. These guys don't know what they're on about. The banking system isn't going to fail, blah, 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 blah. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because he was one guy or a small group of people that were against the many. Right now, the many is on the doom and gloom scenario. And you've got a few people like me that are saying, actually, we're bullish over the next 3, 6, 12, potentially 24 months until whatever demand destructive event takes place. And actually, I think the demand destructive event always is going to get met because that's their only option with stimulus to sort of save everything. And this furthers the sort of cause of Bitcoin and crypto and gold and all this sort of stuff, and anything that's really pegged against the dollar. So very interesting, guys. This was a somewhat in-depth update. We'll see how the stock market opens today, but we've got the E-mini on the NASDAQ, or E-mini on the S&P up. We've got the NASDAQ futures up. Bitcoin and crypto is doing well, likely off this news. I do just want to say this is a warning. You are still not out of the woods yet. Okay, so we did have this as a target. Isn't this interesting? TA doesn't work, guys. Look at what you've formed. Got your double bottom there, bit of a messy one. That would have been a liquidity grab. You still could, and you're at range highs now. So your range traders, which, by the way, everyone on Twitter is now a range trader. I don't know where this has come from. But remember, those big accounts that you follow, guys, ask to see a P&L. If you respect them as traders and they're actual traders, they'll show you a P&L, or they'll at least show you some trades that they've got right that aren't like Bybit 100x leverages. So your range traders may be looking to take this down. You don't want it to come past the midpoint, otherwise it's coming back down here. There is still a possibility that you do revisit 26 and even the neckline retest, which for me would all still be bullish scenarios. Food for thought there, guys. Lots of things to think about. Are we going to see a similar rescuing to what we saw with Silicon Valley Bank, with First Republic? You let me know in the comment section. I just want to say a massive thank you to each and every one of you supporting this channel daily. I do see the comment section. I may not have time to police the comment section and remove everything because I have lots of other things that I'm going on with, but I do see the love. I do see the appreciation for the channel. And ultimately, it's you guys that are why we do what we do and why I do what I do every single day. On that note, I'm going to love and leave you. If you've enjoyed the content, like, it's appreciated. So, a comment, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. See you in the next.